Today we're going to talk about our journey of faith, and I want it to be inspired by the extraordinary life of Abraham. If you've not read about his life, you can find it in Genesis chapter 12 through 25. He was a flawed yet faithful servant whose story echoes the struggles and successes of our own spiritual journey. As we explore the importance of having vibrant faith, we will learn from the timeless lessons that are incorporated in his story.
You're teaching me with my imperfections, reaching me when I run the other direction. I'm undone.
Abraham, a towering figure of faith. He wasn't immune to doubts or defects, yet those imperfections render him a remarkable example of living a life deeply rooted in faith. So let's look at some of the requirements that we have that we can find about faith. At the heart of a vibrant faith lies the first essential requirement, and that's paying attention to God. He speaks to each of us individually, yet unless we train our ears to listen, how can we cultivate a meaningful relationship with Him? I find that God communicates with me primarily through His Word and prayer. When I submerge myself in Scripture daily, God will reveal His wisdom to me and guides me through life's most complicated matters and uncertainties. Psalms 25, 4 and 5 says, "Make me to know your ways, O Lord. Teach me your paths. Lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation. For you I'll wait all day long." When we are obedient to God, it does three things. It proves our love for Him, it demonstrates our faithfulness to Him, and lastly, it displays Him to the world that so desperately needs it. Next, it's imperative that we learn to depend on God fully. Our reliance on Him is vital, from our salvation to our daily understanding and provision. In every aspect of life, our trust in His authority is our foundation. Dependence on God is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to our faith in His unfailing goodness and love. Ephesians 2, 8 and 9 says, "We trust in and depend on God for our salvation." James 1, 5 says, "We depend on God for wisdom." Psalms 104, 27, "We depend on God for everything." And in Proverbs 3, 5 and 6, it reiterates, "We depend on God in everything." Next, we're called to patiently wait upon God. His timing is perfect and His promises never falter. Lamentations 3:25 says, "For those who wait upon Him, the Lord extends His goodness and His grace abundantly." But sometimes we act like the kid in the back seat when the family's going on vacation. I know you've heard it. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Your idea of how things will go is a whole lot different from God's. Lastly, we're urged to embrace our faith failures as opportunities for growth. We all stumble and falter, often rushing ahead of God's timing, yet in our imperfections, we find valuable lessons that deepen our trust in Him. Through our mistakes, we learn humility, patience, and the importance of surrendering to God's perfect plan. I want to read a letter to you, a note that I got from someone that I just think just really talks about faith and how hard it is sometimes to understand faith. It says, "Hey Michael, I wanted to share with you and let you know that between your devotionals and my friend, I'm starting to understand what faith is all about. I wasn't much of a religious, churchy kind of person, but my friend Trey was the total opposite of me. He always talked about his faith in God as if it were the most natural thing in the world. He said God had a plan for everything, especially the tough stuff. So when life threw me a curveball, I decided to give it a shot. I prayed quietly that I would understand what it really was to have faith and to have faith in God, and simply ask for some sort of guidance from God. I prayed the same simple prayer for several weeks, and then I was surprised. Things started seemingly to fall into place. I started being aware that strangers lent a helping hand. Opportunities appeared out of nowhere, and I felt a sense of calmness come over me. It wasn't like everything suddenly became perfect, but I realized I didn't have to face life's challenges alone. Having faith in God meant I had someone to lean on when things got tough, and that made all the difference." Signed, William. This week, as we navigate the complexity of faith, we need to display the strength and trust displayed by Abraham. He was always seeking to fulfill the requirements of a deep faith. We need to commit to paying attention, submitting, depending, waiting, and learning, and understanding that in our journey we draw near to the heart of God. Today, I challenge you to reflect on your own journey of faith. How can you amplify the lessons that Abraham's had in his life to deepen your relationship with God? I hope we can get on board together for this journey. And I want us to embrace each step with courage and conviction, knowing that through faith we find true freedom. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you back next Monday morning on Monday Mornings with Michael. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And be sure to push that bell button so you'll be notified when we post new content.